Today we're going to start a fish weaving based on the book Rainbow Fish. You're all going to pick one colorful piece of construction paper, which will be the main color of your fish body, and we will all have a fish stencil, which I need you to trace. And once we are done tracing, you cut. Now that my fish is cut, I'm going to mark the line where the mouth goes, and up here toward his face I'm going to make a gently curving line so I know where the front of his face goes. Then we're going to take your fish and fold it so his face, his lips, are touching this beginning section of the fin. We're not going to the end, we're aiming for here, okay? So here's his lips, and I'm aiming for this line on my fin and folding it. Next, we're going to take your scissors, going to look at this side where the lips are, and we're going to cut some slits on our fish. So I cut one. You don't want to cut too many that are too skinny, or you will go crazy when we get to the weaving part. So I cut one in the center, that's where I'm starting. Then I'll add one, two over here. I'm going to watch this edge, because if I cut too far, I could chop off the top of my fish, and I don't want to do that. Okay, then on this side, I've got room for one, two, three. One more time, I'm watching this edge. If I go too far, I'll chop off the end of my fish, which I don't want to do. Okay, so I have all these slits on the fish's body, and I'm going to go inside the slits towards this tail and make them just a little bit longer. I'm trying to keep them so they're all even, so they're all lined up with each other. Okay, so I've got a fish with some horizontal looking gills. Your next task is I'm going to have trays full of strips of paper, and you're going to grab a few. It doesn't matter what colors you have. You can have as many colors as you want. Just remember, the book was about rainbow fish. And anything you don't use is going to go back in the pan for someone else. What we do is we take these strips and we're going to weave through our slits. So we will go over and under and repeat. So I'm going to start out underneath, then over this slit, under the next one, over, under, over, under, and pull it through. For my next strip of paper, it needs to do the opposite of the first. So this one, it started out underneath. That's why you don't see anything here. So I'm going to go on top and then use my hands, lift this up, under, over, under, over, under, over, and pull. If you do it right, then when I push this one, they lock. They lock together. If you push this one and it slides on top of the first strip, that means you did it wrong, and we need to pull it out and try it again. Okay? They should always be the opposite, and it should be like a checkerboard when you're done. So these are all diagonal to each other. All right, you gotta take another strip. Under. This is going to match my first one. Under, over, under, over, under, over, under, pull, and slide it over. So now you really see that checkerboard action. And this one, is it going to match the orange or match the pink? It will match the pink. It might be the last one I get in. I don't think I'm going to have room for a fifth piece. Okay, I had room for 4 strips of paper. I don't have room for a fifth. And so these don't come out. What we need to do is going to find all the ones that are on top on the front side, lift it up, put a little glue. Same thing down here. I'm gonna lift up the pink and the purple and glue and flip it over. Once they are glued down, we're going to make these parts that are sticking out look like fins. So if you need to, you can take your pencil and draw a light line across them. I'm only putting on here for this fin, I had a curve across the top. I put a little curve right here. I didn't make it go this far in, because if I draw this far in, the purple is just gonna fall off. So I made a little curve and left the purple attached to the fish. Since your fish doesn't really have a backside, we're going to write our names in your class on its tail fin. And then next time, your rainbow fish is going to become sparkly.